Hey everybody, WhySoWookie here. In this video we're going to go over an article that's released today, and it's an article that's going over the proposed changes to the weapon mastery system. Pubg's put this up so they can get some feedback from the community, and they're looking at things to keep players engaged and keep ranking up the weapons. We're going to go through all the posts today. Hope you enjoy the video. If you do, consider liking and subscribing to see more. So the first thing that Pubg says is progression is a critical fuel and motivates players to keep playing and striving for the next thing. With that in mind, we've come up with some updates and changes for the weapon mastery that we've outlined below. Keep in mind that none of these proposed changes are final. We're eager to get your opinions and ideas first before putting your plans into action. So none of these changes have been fully committed to yet, although I think a lot of them are pretty much going to happen, but they're also wanting feedback from the community of things they might be able to tweak and stuff like that as well. So in all likelihood, we'd probably see this put into action in probably like update 17.1 or 17.2, and some of it seems quite interesting, so quite looking forward to it, to be honest. So the first thing is currently the max level is 100 levels with the weapons, and anybody that's been playing for a while has probably got multiple weapons at level 100, and then once you get to there, there's literally nothing to go any further with that or anything. And they're proposing to change it to each time a player reaches a maximum level of 100, the expert level will increase by 1. The maximum level can be reached repeatedly, and players will be rewarded with every expert level increase. So it's basically almost like a system where you're prestiging the level, and every time you do 100 levels with the weapon, you get another expert rank. So you might get to the point where you're like AK Expert 3 or something like that, which is pretty cool. Currently you get XP by defeats and distance by defeat, and they're changing that to kill and kill distance. Now the reason for that is below in the article. They talk about how they're changing the way that the stats are presented to you, and they're changing defeat to killing that as well. So I don't think the difference will actually make much of a difference. However, I still think you should get XP for knocks, because for example, especially with bolt actions, you might knock a guy from like 300 meters away and never be able to claim the kill. So you should still get XP for that, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Currently, 1 weapon charm per 5 levels, whereas with this new system, you'll only have to get to a certain level with 1 weapon. So say you get to level 50 with your M4, you'll unlock the charms up to level 50 for all your weapons then as well. You don't have to do it per individual one. And like I said, that's kind of what I covered in this one. Weapon charms that were currently owned by weapons, where they're going to be now owned by the player. And they're also thinking about making certain weapon charms available in the store for BP as well. And I imagine in future passes after the new Punk pass with 16.2, there might even be charms that you get throughout the pass as well. Weapon stats. Currently the weapon stats are total damage, total defeats, total knocks and total headshots, and they're looking to make it more in depth so it's easy to compare between players. So they're going for kills, accuracy, average damage and time of ownership, etc. Then they also go into a bit more detail about the levels and the rewards as well. So they say, upon reaching level 100 in a particular weapon mastery, players will now be able to reset their level in order to gain 1 expert level, earning a medal and an upgraded weapon nameplate along with it. So that's pretty cool. Expert levels, the most criticised point of the weapon mastery is that it doesn't take long for experienced players to get to the highest level, which it doesn't. And thereafter, you've got like literally nothing to aim for with that weapon other than just more kills, or you use that weapon because you like it. First weapon I ever got to level 100 was the AK. It's been there for absolutely ever. I still like using the AK, but part of the reason why you don't use weapons that you've got to 100 is because you just want to get as many to 100 as possible, whereas now you'll not be punished for using your favourite weapons because you'll still be able to rank them up. Therefore, they've created 2 different levels that allow players to continue leveling up a weapon for additional rewards, rather than one simple one-time level system, which is good. The rewards: when a basic account switches to a plus account, weapon mastery levels will be provided retroactively. To get the most out of this system, you need a plus account. Non-plus accounts can still get the nameplates for the weapons though. And with the introduction of expert levels, Pubg Battle Royale Plus players will receive weapon mastery medals on each expert level, in addition to the weapon nameplate, which is pretty cool. Weapon mastery charms will be retroactively rewarded. So if you've got one weapon at level 100, now you'll unlock those charms for all your weapons, which is pretty good. After the proposed changes, charms will no longer be acquired through weapon mastery, and instead will be through BP or through other means. Instead of being linked to a weapon, they're linked to the person, like we said. And the XP count, they used to use the term defeat, but a lot of people find it confusing, so they're now changing it to kills. And again, they're going over to change the stats to make them more relevant as well. The Weapon Mastery UI/UX, they're giving you the option to split the performance of the weapon between different modes. So you'll be able to have it as standard mode and then ranked and see the differences there as well. And the weapons will automatically go top to bottom for the most amount of kills in the particular mode. The kill messages will get changed as well, so a weapon nameplate that represents the player's expert level will be displayed in the kill message. Upgrade your expert level to get more nameplates as well. And then again, the charms will be available on all of them as well. And then just at the bottom, they said they hope to implement this system in the July update. So we're obviously March now, 17.1. It'll be looking at April, May, June, July. So it's a couple of months away. Probably more like season 18 to be fair on that one. But yeah, I think these are really positive changes. The one thing I'd say is like, I wish they'd go one step further. So say for example, it doesn't even have to be every expert level, but say every 5 expert levels with a weapon, you get a specific weapon skin, and they could make it where the weapon skins are tied to the level, not for every gun, but then the charms you get for all of them kind of thing. And that'd be another thing like, oh, if you get to expert level 5 you get this weapon skin, and it's a universal weapon skin, but to get it you'd have to get to level 5 with a weapon individually. Because although the charms are cool, like if you play third person for example, you hardly ever see them, to be honest. We'll have to see how impactful the nameplates are. It does also say you don't need one of those upgradable weapon skins to have the nameplates, it's just in general, but the charms, you never see them, to be fair. So, but a certain weapon skin that people would learn to recognize as, oh, expert level 5 with that weapon, you know, it's a very competent player with that weapon, would be pretty good. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this new system and the proposed changes. And also, if you do have feedback, give it to the Pubg guys, and they do listen to feedback a lot. They won't ask for feedback if they didn't want it, and they might make some good changes there. Hope you enjoyed this video and this look into the new Weapon Mastery overhaul. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to see more. Wookie out.